All right, I'm going to do a review on this G&L Tribute JB bass. Before I do or say anything, this unit was a blem. It was a I guess a blemish model. So we're going to take that into account. Okay? Let's be fair now. Let's be fair with the blem model. Of course, when I traded it, I didn't know it was a blem model. Go figure, right? First off, I'll go through all the things that I like about it. The first thing that I like is the finish. I like this vintage looking finish on the neck. This tint looks real sharp. Looks really nice. And I also like the finish they put on here. It's beautiful. Kind of this metallic blue. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but it looks good. And the guy kept it nice. There's really no marks on it at all. So the finish is really cool. Another thing I really dig is this bridge. This is a cool bridge. Look at it. Compare that to a Fender bridge. And of course you got that screw which tightens up, and it just kind of squeezes all the saddles together so they can't dance around, move around. Kind of makes it all look one sturdy, girthy unit. I also like the sound of it. I'm not going to be playing it because my amp speaker is out, so it's a bummer. So I'm waiting for that. I'll do some sound demos when the speaker comes in. I like the tuners. They're big, they're bold, they're beautiful, they're smooth. Nice tuners. Another happy surprise with this bass, it has a two-way truss rod. Pretty cool. I mean, Fender basses, as far as I know, don't have a two-way truss rod. I don't think there's that many companies that give you a two-way truss rod. I don't know. If you want to put something down in the comments, you could let me know. All right, some of the issues with this bass, right? It's a blem model. Is when you put your hand along the binding here, it's nice and smooth, but on this end, you feel a lump pretty much where every fret is. And here's a picture that'll show you what's happening. Most likely, that issue is the blem. Most likely. But another thing is that when I was setting it up, I had to put a shim in the neck. Oh Lord. You see the shim in there? Probably see it. I had to shim the neck because the bridge, I feel like I'm playing a violin. The bridge, the saddles were like almost all the way down already. So I had to raise the neck up so I could have some movement here. So that was odd. I had to put a fairly decent size shim in there. Take a look at it. And if you watch the setup, the two-part setup, I didn't know it had a two-way truss rod. You could go and look at the setup and, you know, I'm like scratching my head. And then part two, I'm like, hey, it is a two-way truss rod. Everything's cool, you know. So all in all, I like this bass. It's a nice bass. It's $500, you know. And the fretwork's not bad besides the fret issue. I think the fret ends could be a little nicer. I don't know, a little cleaner looking, but I mean, I'm sure that's why it's a blem model. So you got to take that into account. So it's a review of it, but you know, not 100% review. So I'll probably do an audio review of the sound of it down the road. When my speaker comes in from my bass amp, that's another story. So anyway, I like the bass, you know. I think there's been some reviews that people have had issues with these. I've read one where they put the bridge, they mounted the bridge wrong. They mounted it at what is it, 30.5 inches. So it could never be intonated. So somehow that was a screw up at the factory. I read that. This one's right, you know. So all in all, a nice bass. I like this bass, you know. Anyway, that is my review of this blem G&L Tribute JB. Take care, everybody.